Go ahead.
Hi, Jillian. Thank you so much for doing this interview with me today. I know you're really busy, so I just want to get right to it. As you know, I work with new entrepreneurs, and I've always wanted to ask you, because I know about your history like a lot of people do. And at one point in your life, you were just Jillian with a dream, entrepreneur, maybe not even envisioned yourself as an entrepreneur. And as I work with people who are in that stage, who have these big visions of having like the Jillian Michaels brand, because I know there's the brand and then there's Jillian, right? What do you think are some key points that you can give to someone who's like, I have this grand vision, but here I am, just Nicole or just Bill. How do I go from there to there? Like, what are some tips that you can give someone, even maybe some action items that they could even do to kind of take them to that brand? Like, what has to happen from someone who's done it?
Oh gosh, a lot. A lot. It's like literally, it's like, how do you eat an elephant? All right. I mean, there might be many different techniques and many different paths forward, one bite at a time. It's going to be a gradual process. But what I can say is the first thing, you've got to be passionate about what you're doing, because you've got to be able to tolerate, the work and the sacrifice associated with it. And I also think that passion breeds authenticity. And those are two critical components for, having not only a successful brand, but a brand with longevity. So if you're passionate, you're authentic, people read that, and it makes them more inclined to trust you, whether they like you or not. And trust is critical. So you have to have that. And then you need to have the information. You're not going to have all of the information. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to, there's going to be many course corrections along the way. But you have to get informed about what it is that you want to do. So for example, when I was coming up, I thought that I needed to be a celebrity trainer, because that was the landscape at the time. And it was like Gunnar Peterson and Harley Pasternak, and they were always in weeklies. And I was like, oh, okay. So I need to do that. And then if I get a name for myself, then I can open up a gym and I can brand my gym like Curves, because I was looking at very specific examples, studying those examples to see how they built their businesses, and if there were any synergies that I could co-opt. And then, of course, life is what happens while you're making other plans, right? You allow for serendipity. So it's like, I ended up on a TV show, but I was doing the work. I was educating myself. I had built the gym. I had the credibility. I had the celebrity clients. So doing that work is critical. Studying very specific models that inspire you is a good place to start. And then building a team around you over time that knows what you don't know. I'm not a marketing expert. Right. I'm not a social media expert. I'm not a branding expert. Over time, I have become one over the past 20 years, but I didn't start out as one. Right. I surrounded myself with a licensing agent who was a branding expert 20 years ago that helped me build my brand. So getting help is also a massive part of the puzzle.
Thank you. And I know that was a really big question, so I appreciate you trying to answer it.
Oh my God. I don't know where to begin.
If you only knew how many times I ran that question through my head. I just wanted to see what you said. I really love your story and I can relate to it so much. So additionally, sometimes, and I really wanted to ask you this, because when I'm working with entrepreneurs, sometimes they get a lot of pushback just from people in their own community, their own family. They get a lot of negativity. People judge them when they say things. They feel like they're walking on ice. And someone who has the visibility that you do, who has had to deal with negative light, which from people who don't even know you, they just know Jillian Michaels, the brand. They don't know Jillian, and they judge you and they think they take you out of context. What are some skill sets that you can maybe shed some light on for someone, so when they feel like running in the corner and crying because everyone they tell their dream to is throwing negativity at them? Can you give us anything how you deal with that?
Well, look, strangers are very different than family and friends, right? So haters in the public eye are great. If you don't have haters, you're doing something wrong. Like it just, you have to have them, because hating is envy. And envy means you are doing something people want to be doing, right? They envy you. And that's why they hate on you, because they're jealous. So otherwise, like, who cares?
Right.
Like, I don't care. Even if I don't like something, I don't go and hate on it. If I had a meal I don't like, it's very rare I'm going to like hate on it, or I'm just going to be like,
Me
well, I'm not
either.
eating there again. Right. But I notice that when I'm jealous of somebody or I'm envious, then you hate on them. And I worked on it a lot as a younger person, because I was like, well, if I'm hating on someone, not publicly because I know better, but and I'm like, they suck, they're whatever. I was jealous of what they had and what they accomplished. And I remember my therapist being like, here's the great news, at least you know what it is that you want for yourself.
Yeah.
I was like, good point. But so now when people hate on me, I'm like, perfect, I'm doing something right. Now with friends and family, that's a very different dynamic. And in that case, I would say, look, you're dealing with their insecurities and their disappointment of not following and pursuing their dreams. Then, that's their stuff, not yours. It doesn't mitigate what they say to you. And this is where you need to establish boundaries, maybe not share those things with them so that you protect yourself a little bit better. Hold a really firm line. It's like, I'm not going to talk about this with you. If you continue to talk about this with me, I'm going to get off the phone. I love you and I'll call you later. Constantly shutting down the negative conversation, stepping back, taking space, walking away. And over time, you can retrain them. Will you have to put them in a box? Yes. Is that sad? Yes. And you'll have feelings about it. I can't even begin to touch on that, but it is what it is. And then you subsequently build a supportive environment that you can do with new friends that you meet in, the environment you want to be in, an exercise class, meet new friends who have a like-minded, mentality. Groups online, Facebook groups, totally free. I have one for my little community.
Right.
There's a million different places to meet like-minded people who will give you that sense of support and camaraderie.
Okay. All right. Very good. Thank you. I can definitely speak to the retraining. I had to do that with some of my family members. Now, when I give them my ideals, they're like, yeah, that's going to be great. And I'm like, that's right. So, and before I let you go, what is the tool that you use every day to help you in your business? Is it a person, a virtual assistant, an assistant, or an app, or something that you use every day in your business that helps you?
Oh my God. The phone.
Just as you're yelling about emails.
The phone. I do everything from the phone. It's like, I got to post on social media. I do it from the phone. I got to check my emails. I do it from the phone. I got to do an interview. I'm doing it on the phone. It's like
Right.
the phone. There's nothing, everything exists on that phone. So
Right.
whatever it is, there's just not something like unique or magical. It's
Okay.
a lot of work and it all exists on that damn phone.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time, Jillian. I love what you do, and I'll continue to follow you, and I'm in all your groups. So thank you for what you do.
Thank you, sweetie. I appreciate it.
Thank you.